fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today for this week's WIP and Chat. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. WIP, W-I-P, stands for Work in Progress, and this is mine. You are welcome and encouraged to go grab whatever it is that you're working on and work alongside as I chat, or alternatively, you can listen a la podcast. So I think I have everything ready to go. I have my notes, I have my drills, I have my tray from Bella Art, I have my pens, I have a new pen I'm going to try and remember to use. Some of you, when I unboxed this, said you wanted to see it in action, so I'm going to try it. Also, I realized that you can replace the wax heads in this, so you can buy replacement heads if that one wears out. I have my timer. So I think I have everything ready to go. Don't think I've forgotten anything. So I'm going to zoom in, get everything else set up, start my timer, and then start chatting. So don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Okay, hopefully you guys can see everything. This is the section that I'm going to be working on. This is my Gothic Mosaic from Fan Cells, and I'm getting super close to being done. I've got this and like 1.5 rows left, and then I'll be finished with this, and then I can move on to other things. So my goal is to finish this one before DP for Pets starts, so that I can start working on that one when that starts next week, or I guess this week. And then I've got other ones. I need to go look at events and see what other events are going on so I can figure out what I want to do. But anyway, so let me just jump in. Okay, so I've been working on this one, and actually it's been kind of fun because it's an abstract, and so it's almost like working on a different painting as I rotate it to work on it. So I'm not really sure how it's supposed to go, but whichever way it is, I'm having fun working on it. So there is that. I am actually practicing with my multi-placer so that I can get better at that. I think I'm doing better, but I think it's this multi-placer. I like the multi-placers that have the thinner walls. So I don't know if you guys can see, but this one has the thinner walls. I've got my museum putty in this one. So see how thin the walls are around the edge? I think that's been making it a little easier for me. So I am trying to get better about multi-placing, because the faster I can place drills, the more kits I can get finished. And then the more content I have for the channel, which is amazing, because there's never enough time to do all the things that you want to do, right? So yeah, just trying to work on that. Okay, so where do I want to start today? Let's see. I usually start with the life updates. Let me start with that. My knee is slightly better. I have good days and bad days, but I seem to have some pretty good days lately. Like today, my husband and I went out for a walk, and it actually felt almost normal. So I'm hopeful that maybe I'm finally getting to where I need to be. I am trying to be more mindful of like stretching before I do something. I still have issues with it. Like I went to turn around the other day to get something in the back seat of our car, and I can't really put a whole lot of weight on that knee. It just doesn't hold. But it's not extremely painful to bend it. I'm not having all of the issues that I was having with it before. So crossing my fingers, I'm trying to figure out how to deal with the bursitis issue. I am trying to limit my gluten. That seems to inflame it, and also trying to remember to take ibuprofen, which I'm really bad about. So hopefully making progress there. So making progress, I hope. My husband's his shoulder is getting better. He's been going to physical therapy. I think he's got a couple weeks left. And then I think they're probably going to release him. He's still gets a twinge every now and then, but the physical therapist told him it would probably be a good 6 months before he was completely back to normal. So I'm thinking, he just needs to kind of be careful with it. But hopefully that means he can avoid surgery, because that was really the goal. So, and we just got a piece of mail that shows that the insurance paid for his MRI. So hopefully, and he got told by the physical therapist that they did receive some payments for his physical therapy as well. So hopefully all is good there. And they have gone back and made payments on all the things that we needed them to. So that's good. What else as far as life updates? Oh my gosh, you guys. Today, we went to the home improvement store. The birds have discovered our bird feeder, which is awesome. But it was almost empty. So we needed to go buy some more bird food, because we bought one of those bird feeders that takes like the little cakes, and we only bought 2. And of course we filled it up and it's almost empty. And it doesn't help that it has basically rained here for the last 4 days in a row. So everything is kind of soaked and it just all kind of melted. So, but anyway, they've discovered it. We've got some woodpeckers. I haven't seen the hummingbird in a while, but got some woodpeckers and some finches and some other birds that are eating there. So bought some cakes for them so we can keep them fed. It's been entertaining, pleasantly relaxing. I will get up in the morning after my son and I go for our walk, and I will make my cup of tea for the morning, and I will just kind of sit at the dining room table and look out the window and watch the birds. And we've seen a mama bird that comes and she'll get some bird seed and stuff, and then she'll fly into the tree and feed her little babies. They're not babies. They're not in the nest. They're flying, but she's still feeding them. So they must not be very old. And of course, entertaining watching the squirrels fight over the feeder that they can't get into. I meant to look for a squirrel feeder when we were there, but I forgot. So, and then while we were there, unbeknownst to me, one of the real reasons we went, because my husband was all gung-ho, and I was like, why are you? Usually, I mean, he'll go, but it's never usually his idea. I wanted to pick up some more stuff for the seeds I wanted to plant and things like that. So he's like, well, let's go do this. Little did I know, part of the reason he wanted to go was because he had seen, I don't know, YouTube, Facebook, somebody somewhere had said there were some chips. Now, those of you who've never been to Canada, Canada has some interesting chip flavor choices. One of them is called All Dressed, which Lay's here used to make. And he really loves those. They're very vinegary, kind of spice, not spicy hot, but just a lot of different spices, almost kind of like vinegar and barbecue. So, but we haven't been able to find the all dressed for a while. I don't know if Lay's quit making them, but we just haven't been able to find them. And then the other thing that Canada has is something called all dressed chip, or no, ketchup chips. I said all dressed already. Ketchup chips. And he absolutely loves them. It sounds really gross. The first time he told me about them, we were actually in Canada, and he's like, oh, I want to get some ketchup chips while we're here. And I was like, ketchup chips? That just sounds wrong. I mean, it's potatoes with ketchup, so, I don't know why people think it's weird, but it just sounds wrong, I guess. So they have a brand in Canada called, I think it's called Old Dutch. And we've purchased them before on Amazon, but they're super expensive because basically they get shipped here from Canada. And so we just, like I bought him some for Christmas but it was ridiculously expensive. And so we just don't really buy them a whole lot. And there's this brand at the home improvement store that somebody saw that they said, oh, they taste almost exactly like the Canadian Old Dutch ketchup chips and all dressed chips. So we went and got them, and oh my gosh. Now, the all dressed, I didn't necessarily like very much. They were way more vinegary than I remember them tasting from Canada. But my husband loves vinegar, so he thought they were great. The ketchup chips, I thought tasted almost exactly like the Old Dutch ketchup chips. So he was super excited, making plans to go back to the store and pick up some more. And I was like, okay, so we're going to go to the home improvement store, not to get things for the yard or the house, but to grocery shop, which I find weird anyway. When we go to the home improvement store, like, do people actually come here and buy groceries? Because it's a huge grocery section. I mean, it's not just, a few things here and there. They sell canned goods, they sell chips and snacks, and really the only thing they don't sell is like meat, like refrigerated type stuff, meat and dairy. But I mean, pretty much anything else, especially non-perishables, you can get there, which I just think is weird for a home improvement store. But they must have enough business because they keep doing it. So I guess if you go to the home improvement store a lot, maybe it saves you trips. I don't know. We don't go to the home improvement store enough for me to know that. So, and then when we got done there is a new Dunkin' Donuts on the same road that we take. And we happened to be there kind of after the breakfast rush. So we went in, you guys, I got the strawberry dragon fruit lemonade. It is so good. You can get it with lemonade, coconut milk, or green tea. I got it with the lemonade. So good. I would go back there just for that. I don't even need a donut. Just the lemonade would be so good. And it's pretty hot today, so it's one of those drinks that is very thirst quenching. I could do with a little less sugar in it. Their lemonade is pretty sweet, but other than that, it is very refreshing. So I was super happy. So yeah, that's my life update and all the fun things I did. What else? Oh my goodness, you guys. I don't know if you saw the video yesterday. I'm almost assuredly going to blow my budget for the year. I don't know how much I have left, but it's probably not a whole lot. So the SpongeBob kits came out from Diamond Art Club, and my nephew loves SpongeBob. And so I ended up getting one of those for him. And he was super excited. So I'm going to try and work it in between all the other things I have planned because I want to get it done for him. I wish I would have been able to get it early enough that it could have been a birthday present. But since his birthday is coming up in like less than a week, pretty sure that's not going to happen. But so I got that kit. And then the week after, I don't even know if it was a week after. It might have been even the same week. You guys, I have the Diamond Art Club app on my phone, and I should get rid of it because every time they have a sale, of course, it comes up and I'm like, oh, well, let me just go check it out. And they were having that warehouse sale, 25% off. And I was like, okay, well, let me just go look. Doesn't mean I have to buy, but let me just go look and see what they have. And I've had my eyes on a couple of kits for a while. I mean, I leave stuff on my wish list in Diamond Art Club because you never know when they're going to restock something or whatever. I mean, even if they say it's discontinued or whatever, doesn't always mean you can't get a hold of it right when it first comes out. So, I thought, let me just go look and see, is there anything on my list that I want to get? And you guys, okay, So some of it I'm going to blame on my husband because I had him look at it and he's like, oh, you would really like that one. You should get it. And I'm like, ugh, okay, twist my arm. So I ended up buying 3 kits during the warehouse sale, which is insane. But I got 2 kits that would be good for the DP for Pets event, and I got them at really good prices. And they're both by the same artist that I can't remember what her name is, but the same lady that did my bubblegum spaniel. It's the Yorkie with the magic books and then the hedgehog, both of which I have wanted for a while and just kind of hadn't pulled the trigger on. But I mean, I basically got both of those kits for 15 bucks a piece. I mean, super inexpensive. So I went ahead and got both of those. And then I got another one that I'm not going to share because I got to keep some surprises for the channel, but I got another one. It was the biggest one and the one that I spent the most money on, but I spent enough that I got free shipping. I got 25% off all the kits, so it's all good. Oh, and then I saw somebody else was unboxing something new. Now, I didn't get one in the SpongeBob kit, but somebody said, or I saw a picture, Diamond Art Club is now including steel tips in their kits. I don't know if they're steel, they're just metal, but they look like those kind of all-in-one tips. Not like these tips, but kind of the other shaped ones. I don't know how to describe it. They're kind of shaped more like this, but they're all steel or all metal at least. So be interested to see if any of the kits. I know that the Yorkie and the Hedgehog won't have them because they came out a while ago, but the other one is a kind of a newer kit, so we'll see what I get in that one. So, but yeah, I'm pretty sure my budget is blown. And then I got another notice from the app, which I always forget. Diamond Art Club is on Amazon. They have an Amazon store. So if you have Amazon Prime, which we do, you can order Diamond Art Club kits through Amazon and probably get them way faster than you get them ordering directly from Diamond Art Club. Now, you don't get like points and stuff like that, but they have some that are Amazon exclusives. So one of them was a Friends kit. I'm not big into Friends, so I didn't really care about that one. They had, I think, 3 Suicide Squad ones. One was Harley Quinn. And then it had, it was a two-in-one set of like silhouettes of Harley Quinn and, I don't know, the Joker. I don't know my DC comics well enough to remember, but I think that's who it was. Anyway, and then they had, like 4 or 5 Harry Potter ones. One that's the crest, and one, or the rest of them were like, one was the Hogwarts crest, and then the rest of them were like the different houses crests. So like Slytherin and I don't know I don't know if they had Gryffindor or Hufflepuff or whatever the 4th one is that I can never remember. I mean, I've read Harry Potter, but I'm not a huge fan, so my sister-in-law would shoot me for not remembering what it is. But anyway, so you can look. And then they also had some more kits by the same lady that did the Bubblegum Spaniel. One was like a cat on top of a bunch of pillows that I think it said Princess and the Pea. And then they had that dog with the cup that said, is it, the little puppy with the cup that said, is it Friday yet? And I think it said those were special sizes. But and I don't remember which one it was, but I want to say 1 or 2 of those kits, of all those ones I just mentioned, were only like $15. And then, I mean, they ranged up to, I think, like 50 for some of the other ones that are the, like, Harry Potter and DC and all those. But $15 for one of the pet ones, and it would get to my house in just a couple of days. So I need to remember that Diamond Art Club sells them on Amazon, because that would be good some days. I mean, it would be nice to get the points if I'm going to buy something from them, but I get frustrated with them sometimes. I just left another review because I finished that Dreamcatcher one, and I went back and I used their email link, and my review is on the site, but I didn't get any points for leaving the review or uploading a photo. So I don't know why I seem to have so much issue with them. I mean, I've left reviews on other sites. Like, I've left reviews on Dreamer Designs before, and I forget to log into my account sometimes, and it'll still be like, oh, hey, is this you? So yeah, just frustrating sometimes. So anyway, so Diamond Art Club is on Amazon if you haven't checked them out. I mean, they have other kits besides the ones that I just named, but those were some of the newer ones that I think they were having kind of some sales on. I almost bought one of the ones that they had for Memorial Day. So speaking of, I keep forgetting that it's a long weekend this weekend. I should have gone to the bank on Friday, and I completely spaced it. And then I was like, oh, I'll just go on Monday. And then my husband came home and he's like, 4-day weekend or 3-day weekend. And I was like, what? Oh, no. So luckily, the last day of the month isn't until Tuesday, so I can go on Tuesday. But yeah, I was like, oh, darn it. Time gets away from me now that I'm not working. I got to stop and think about, what day is it today sometimes. So let's see. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, I have been going through kind of behind the scenes and making some changes to various things. I updated my YouTube intro. I'm trying to figure out how to do some more fancy things so I can have like a fancy outro / end screen. I'm trying to, well, I'm just kind of updating and trying to be kind of more on top of things and treat it a little bit more like a business. I mean, I don't want to go too overboard, because I feel like then I get bogged down in details that aren't where I need to be putting my focus. But I did want to make some changes. So I updated my cover page I updated the banner art on YouTube. I updated my covers on Facebook. Because the one cover that I've had on there for a while was my Grandiose Greece, but I really like the pictures that I got of my Vibrant Italy, so I changed it to that. And yeah, I've just been kind of trying to make some changes as far as that goes. So I did also, while I was in the Facebook group, kind of do some updating and trying to feel my way. Like, I feel like, well, I like Instagram better than Facebook personally, but I get that that's my own bias, and I want more people to be involved. So if people are comfortable using Facebook, then cool. I don't have a problem with that, but I just need to get better about using Facebook and figuring out how things go. And really, up to this point, I've kind of just posted things in the Facebook and then not really interacted a whole lot beyond that, which is on me. I should have been doing more from the get-go. So I'm trying to remedy that and kind of post things like I do on Instagram to kind of give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek, that kind of a thing, like I do on Instagram. So I just get frustrated with Facebook because I feel like if I post something on Instagram, more people see it, versus when I post something on Facebook, I feel like it gets lost in the shuffle so easily. And maybe that's just my perception, but I mean, I'll go in and look at, okay, I made this post and I've got, say there's 50 people in the group. I would expect 50 people to have seen it, right? But that's not the way Facebook works. Some days I'm lucky if 10% of you saw it, and that gets frustrating to me. So, although I guess having said that, I probably follow metrics closer on Facebook than I do on Instagram. So maybe that's an unfair comparison. Anyway, so I've been trying to kind of brainstorm how I can do things better. And so in the process of kind of updating the look of the Facebook group, I also updated a couple of the rules. I put another post in there about posting links / spam. Now, let me just say, this is not to keep people from posting any links whatsoever. I mean, I want you guys to kind of feel free to share, but I also don't want it to become spam central where, if somebody just comes in and joins and then all they do when they interact with the group is leave spam. So I've added that rule in there. And then I have set it up, I think, so that now you have to agree to the group rules before you can join the group. Whereas before, I don't think I had that turned on. Like, I thought I had it turned on, but I don't. When I went in and looked, it didn't appear that it was turned on. So that is now turned on. So you have to basically say, yes, I understand the rules and agree to abide by them. And then I almost set up questions, and then I thought, I don't think the group is big enough for me to do that yet. Plus, not really knowing how to use Facebook all that well. Like, I didn't want to set it up so that I've got to approve everybody and all that kind of thing. And so maybe at some point when it gets a little bit bigger and maybe the group gets a little bit busier, then I'll worry about it. But anyway, so basically I've updated the look of the group. I've added in that rule about spam. And then I forgot to do it this Saturday. I knew I would, but I'm going to set myself a reminder so that I'm going to keep that, or at start, I guess I shouldn't say keep because I haven't done it yet, the small shop Saturday idea. So I will on Saturdays post a link that everybody can comment on if you want to leave links to your Etsy shop or a diamond painting company or something cool you found or your YouTube channel or whatever. Then all of those can go kind of under that post as comments, and then everything will be kind of in one place for anyone to find when they want to go back and look for something. And it limits all of that to, those posts so that we're not all getting spammed with a bunch of links all the time. And then I was looking at other groups and I'm like, okay, so, updating all these kind of things. What can I change? What can't I change? And I named the group Diamond Painting Anonymous because, I mean, that's the name of the channel. And so I just wanted everything kind of the same. But now I'm wondering if I should change the name of the group because there's several other groups that have the same name, which seems weird. I don't know why Facebook allows that, but whatever. So now I'm like, is that confusing to people? Should I change the name? Does it matter? I mean, I just want people to be able to find it when they're looking for me. So if I change it to something else, does that make it easier? Those of you who know Facebook better than I do, let me know. Okay, so that's all about Facebook. I really think you guys, for the last probably, well, for most of the first part of this month, I think I just got really bogged down in the fact that I was going to be leaving the preschool and I don't have another job lined up. And, I don't even know if I want another job at this point. I mean, my husband is fine if I don't work. I don't have to work. I'm lucky enough to be able to just be, a homemaker if I want, although I hate that word. Not necessarily a stay-at-home mom because my kids aren't little, but homemaker just sounds so 1950s. Anyway, what did Roseanne Barr call it? Domestic goddess. That sounds dumb too. Did I just date myself with Roseanne Barr? Anyway, I think I want to find something part-time, but something I can do from home. I don't know. I'm undecided about that too. There's a part of me that's like, well, I probably should get something where I'm forced to get out of the house at least every once in a while. So we'll see. I don't know what that's going to look like, but I think for the first half of the month, I kind of was like preoccupied with that. And so I kind of got lost in what I wanted to do with the channel. And I think everything kind of just took a unintentional back seat. Not that I, didn't keep making content, because I did, but I think some of my excitement wasn't there like I wanted it to be, or at least I didn't feel like it was. I hope that didn't come across in the channel, because I don't think it did, but anyway, if it did, that's why. So, I just had to spend some time, I think, kind of feeling it, I mean, there's just some things, if things were different, I would have wanted to stay. I mean, I wanted to stay. I shouldn't say that. I wanted to stay, but there were just factors that it was already causing me all kinds of stress, and it wasn't going to get any better the longer I stayed. So it was just time for me to move on. So I did. And I think that's the part that was hard for me, was that it felt like, oh, I don't know. It was just difficult. Anyway, so having kind of worked through all of that now, I kind of feel like I've gotten my mojo back. I've gotten a lot of ideas. I spent some time the other day just kind of sitting down with a notepad and just kind of brainstorming everything onto the page. What do I want to do? What are some projects I want to do? What are some directions I want to go? Where do I want to take the channel? Where do I want to go, and how do I get there from here? And so I've been trying some new things kind of behind the scenes, to try and grow the channel. I mean, it's still growing. It's not that it's not growing. It just would always be nice if it grew faster, So, trying to work on some of that stuff, which is kind of boring administrative stuff that really nobody sees but me. And, trying to figure out, oh God, just a bunch of boring things like self-employment taxes and finding an accountant and figuring out how to, do my own books, and just lots of stuff like that that just kind of go along with owning a quote unquote business, which seems like a strange thing to say about a YouTube channel, but I mean, that's essentially what it is. So, doing all those kind of behind the scenes things and trying to figure out what I need to do first and prioritize things and all that. And then also, just kind of making ideas of what am I going to do? So I have ideas for projects, and some of them just kind of come up kind of on their own, like my 30 by 30 challenge wasn't really anything I ever had on my radar. It was just kind of a throwaway comment that I made, I think during a WIP and Chat, and somebody was like, oh, you should, da-da-da. And I was like, let me think on that. And then I was talking to my family about it, and my family was like, oh, you could never do that. And I was like, okay, challenge accepted. So sometimes it all just kind of comes around like that. Sometimes it's a little more purposeful where I get an idea and I'm like, okay, I need to try this. So I just sat down and kind of tried to write down what are, basically any and all ideas that I've ever had for the channel and kind of how do I want to do them. So, yeah, just sitting down and trying to figure out what I want to do. Like, oh, one of my ideas is to do like a diamond painting for beginners or a diamond painting 101 series. Like, when I first got into diamond painting, what are some things I wish I had known when I very first started? And, kind of do a series off of that. And then it's like, okay, well, then after I do for beginners, do I do like an intermediate one? Do I do an advanced one? Do I just make them all part of the same, series? Because I mean, they wouldn't obviously all be for beginners because some of the stuff, you probably don't need to know unless you are going to continue on in the hobby. And so, yeah, just some considerations like that. And then, um, I've been collecting a bunch of tips and tricks and things as I come across them, things that I found helpful, um, as I continue on my diamond painting journey for, ooh, this is a really good tip. This makes my life so much easier while I'm diamond painting. Or, oh, I figure something out and I'm like, I should tell people about that because maybe other people would find it useful as well. And, so just a bunch of things like that. I've seen some other people who've done like the, things I wish I had known, which I always find interesting. Like, what do you wish you had known before you started diamond painting? I think I wish I had known how much of my money was going to go into it. Not that I regret spending the money that I did, but I just, I didn't realize at least how expensive of a hobby it was going to turn into, which maybe that was naive of me. But, when you start out, you don't think, okay, I'm going to, spend money buying kits every week, even though there's no way I can keep up with that. So, and not that I think there's anything wrong with having a stash, but I don't know. Sometimes it also feels like people trying to one up each other. Like, I have a stash because I buy diamond paintings that I really want to do. I mean, like the SpongeBob one, I specifically bought so that I could do it for my nephew. I didn't just buy it because it was the flavor of the week or whatever. I don't buy them just so I can unbox them on the channel. I mean, there's a few that after purchasing them that I was like, well, I don't know if I really want to do this one, but that's been few and far between. In fact, there were 3 kits that I bought specifically for giveaways. I mean, I bought them with the intent that they would be used as prizes and giveaways. There's a few that I purchased thinking, well, I don't know if I am going to do this one, but I kind of like it, so I would just go ahead and get it. It's that, oh, I'm $10 away from free shipping, so I just get this other kit. A couple of them I've purchased because I was trying to get free shipping. And then that's one of the things I wish I had known, was that I was ordering from Diamond Art Club and it was a new release, but it wasn't going to be available for like another month. Like, it wasn't going to ship until a month after it was released. And so to get free shipping, I also ordered a couple of other kits which had already been released. And I thought they would just ship me the ones that were in stock, and then I would get the second one later, which, you know, duh, had I thought it through, the whole reason I ordered them was to get free shipping, so why would they spend money shipping 2 different shipments? But, you know, that's not how my brain works most days, so I ended up ordering some kits that maybe I really didn't want, just to take advantage of that free shipping. Now, admittedly, I have not done as much discovering of cool things this year as I did last year, and a lot of that is strictly down to the budget. You know, last year I was still kind of trying out new things, and so it was like, well, here's this new thing, let me try it. Here's this new thing, let me try that. And so it was a lot of, you know, when I first started, steel tips were just kind of becoming a thing. I had to try out all the different kinds of waxes. I wanted to try out glue dots. I wanted to try out all the different kinds of multi-placing tools. I wanted to try out rulers. So just a lot of experimenting for me that I think I haven't done as much of this year, because some of it is just I've been doing it long enough now that I've kind of figured out what tools work for me and which ones don't. And so I think that's part of the process when you're a new diamond painter too, is, you know, trying all the things. And not that any tools are bad, just that some of them are not my cup of tea and some of them just don't work for the way that I diamond paint. So, I mean, I think there's some, you know, figuring out, like I said, what works for you and what doesn't when you're talking about diamond painting. Like when I first started trying out multi-placing, I tried the multi-placing wheel, which I actually didn't mind, but I felt like it really only worked for rounds, and then I started doing a bunch of squares, so I didn't really do a whole lot with it. And I have since, you know, now that steel tips have come out, I have spent a bunch of time kind of, you know, buying steel tips and, you know, putting the all-in-ones on all of my pens and figuring it out. And things change too. Like when I first started getting the metal tips, these straighteners were kind of thick and they really didn't fit in between the drills very well to use them as a straightener. They have since gotten thinner. So I really like this one. I'm going to go back and buy some other ones to kind of replace my first gen ones because I like these better. I want to go back and find some more steel tips like these because, like I said, I like the ones that have the thinner walls, and those aren't necessarily the ones that you can find really easily. So, but I like them better. So, you know, and it may be that you like the ones that have the different kind of, you know, design better than these. It's just, like I said, experimenting and kind of getting a feel for what you like best. Just like, I don't know personally how anyone paints diamond paints with tweezers. I just can't do it. Like, I don't know how you pick up round ones anyway. Just like picking off drills with tweezers, round drills, they go flying everywhere. So I can't imagine trying to pick them up. I think I just have too heavy of a hand for that to work for me. And I've watched people do it with squares, and I'm in awe of people that can do it because it does make for really good placement. You know, some of the rules that they kind of follow about how they pick them up and how they match them up next to each other so they're, you know, in a line and spaced evenly and all that kind of stuff is really cool. But I can't diamond paint with tweezers. Like, it's just an exercise in frustration for me. And I just would end up with drills pretty much everywhere but on the canvas. And if they managed to get on the canvas, it wouldn't be where they were supposed to go. So I don't diamond paint with tweezers, but I know there's lots of people who that's their preference. So yeah, I think a lot of it is just, you know, figuring out for yourself what tools work the best. And I think that's true of any hobby, not just diamond painting. So, although you guys, I really want to take a stained glass class. And I know everybody's told me it's a really expensive hobby, so I don't know if I will get into it as a hobby necessarily. Gosh, I don't even know that I would have the room with everything else that we have going on. But I would love to take a class just to kind of see how the process goes. And it really was a lot less expensive than I thought it would be to take the class. So now I'm wondering if I might have my daughter go with me, pay for her to take the class too, so she could go with me, because I think she would really enjoy it. And she is, of my two kids, she is the artistic one. I mean, she is an artist. She spends a lot of time drawing and painting and designing and that kind of thing. I keep trying to tell her to get an Etsy shop going because I think she would make a money as a side hustle for that, but she hasn't listened to me yet, so we'll see what happens. But I keep telling her, she could literally take some of her designs, sell them as like clip art downloads or coloring pages or both or whatever on Etsy, stickers. She has a very definite style, and I think it's one that people would like, but she is struggling, I think, to get over that whole imposter syndrome kind of thing, which I think we all struggle with at some point. So, but I want her to get some of her designs finished because I also want to talk to her about possibly putting together some of her designs into like a coloring book that she could sell on Amazon as like an adult coloring book. And also, I'm trying to figure out if I want to do that as well. I have one of my big projects that I'm going to be working on is kind of a revamp of my diamond painting log. My current diamond painting log I set up to go in the disc planner that I started out using, which is what they call the classic size, which is basically like 7.5 by 9 or 7 by 9.5, something like that. I don't remember the exact dimensions. So that's kind of how I set up my pages for it. But what I'm discovering is that I want more room to put things on the page that there's just not enough room to put everything on when it's that size. And I have also actually graduated from, I don't use that size of planner anymore, even for my like personal daily planner, which I still use pencil and paper, and I buy pretty stickers to put on it and decorate it, that kind of thing. I use what they call the big size, which is basically 8.5 by 11. And I just like having more room to write. And if I did it at that size, that would give me a lot more room to put more stuff on there. So I've been kind of, as I put things in my own logbook and thinking about, oh, I wish I had room to put this, or as I'm, kind of was going through a lot of that back end stuff, like I was telling you guys, it was like, oh, what if I wrote this down? And then I was going through, like, I don't know how many of you have heard of or used the Gems Flow app. Someone told me about it when I very first started diamond painting, and I got it on my phone. And for a while, I was using it to kind of keep track of things. I was also using my written logbook at the time, so it wasn't like everything was on the Gems Flow app. But I am very much more of an analog person. I much prefer writing things with a pen or pencil and paper than doing everything digitally. I don't keep a lot of apps on my phone. I don't use a lot of apps on my phone. So I just ended up not using it very much. And then I got a new phone, and I didn't have an account set up on the Gems Flow app. I was just kind of using it, and when I transferred my stuff, it didn't transfer, so I kind of lost everything. So I just have never gotten back to using it, but it's a nice little app. And I was looking through it, And it was like, oh, this would be nice to include in my logbook. I wish I had remembered to put this in there. And so, and then, like I said, just in the process of writing things down, oh, it would be nice if I could include this in my logbook, or, oh, I want room to put that in the logbook. So I'm going to be revamping it, doing it at a bigger size, which is basically going to be 8.5 by 11 paper, which means that, at least for people here in the US, it'll be a much easier size. I mean, that's standard size for like printer paper and things. So people who want to print it at home or whatever, that could be an option. And then I'm also thinking about, do I want to put it together into like a book format that I could sell on Amazon or Etsy or something like that. So, because I would love to do that. I mean, I know there's other diamond painting logbooks out there, but all the ones that I've seen just don't have all the stuff that I want to keep track of. And, don't get me wrong, there's, even in my own logbook, there's stuff that I have put in there that I know people use that I don't personally use. So, but I figure, somebody else goes to all the trouble and you just have to basically buy it on Amazon, then maybe that would be helpful for some people. So, and it would be a way for me to learn something new because I've never done that. That's one of my life projects too, is someday I would like to write a book and get it published. I just have to decide what kind. If I want to write like I at one point kind of was writing a book for journaling prompts for English teachers, because that's what I used to do when I was teaching English in public schools. And yeah, just all kind of got thrown by the wayside, and I've switched computers 2 or 3 times since then, and so I don't even know where all the stuff is for it anymore. I'd have to recreate everything. But yeah. And I have, resources that could help me. My sister-in-law has published, self-published a book. So, and I know, lots of people do it. So I could do it. I just haven't. Something that I've, has been, like I said, kind of on my radar, but not a priority. So, and it still isn't at this point because I'm doing other things. So where did I see that pesky S? There it is. Is that the only one I saw? I thought I saw another one up here somewhere. Maybe that was it. Okay. So basically, I think I'm down to what, 3 or 4 colors now. Let me do K's first. No idea how long I've been talking, but I'm going to do some K's. So I've got this laying here. I told you guys I was going to show this. So basically this is a wax pen that you can use. This is kind of the same idea as the pretty placers, where it's wax and you just pick it up. The wax pens, I know some people use them, and the pretty placers, to place everything. The thing with the wax pens is you can't press very hard, because then the wax gets all out of shape, and or you leave wax all over your canvas or your drills. So I use it mostly for like special drills, so I can pick them up and use the wax to pick them up. Although I suppose if I took this end off, see, it's pretty small, and then you can use the wax to pick it up and then use this end to kind of press it in there. But it is cool in that you can buy the replacement heads for these. You didn't used to be able to do that. Once the wax got used up, you just had to throw the pen away, or, just not use that end of it because it was no good anymore. But they are cool to have. So, yeah. So hopefully that was enough to demonstrate how you can use these. Okay. So anyway, yeah, I've just been working on a bunch of kind of behind the scenes, and I don't want to say more goals necessarily because I have goals for the year that I'm working towards, but I think I also kind of got bogged down in just working towards those goals and focusing on those and not on anything else I could be doing at the same time. So I think it was just a good lesson for me that, I need to remember to have fun. I think that was I just had so many heavy things going on with, leaving the preschool and my daughter moving out and then all the injuries we've been dealing with and, life. So, but I'm going to enjoy my summer, at least for a couple of months. We really want to plan a trip into Canada, but I think we're probably going to wait until August for that. We need to at least start thinking about it, but my son is in the jury pool for the next, well, basically June and July. So I don't want to plan anything and then have to change plans at the last minute because he ends up getting pulled for jury duty. So we'll see how that goes. I actually think it would actually be better for us to kind of travel in August because most people will be done and getting ready to kind of gear up for school. And, my son will be going back to classes, but he takes most of his classes online. So we should be fine there. And it doesn't really matter, when I go because I won't necessarily be working. At least I don't think I will. And it doesn't really matter when my husband goes either. I mean, he can pretty much just say, I'm going to take a couple weeks off and be gone. So, but I was wanting to wait also to make sure that he wasn't going to have surgery. So now that it looks like he won't, we can kind of make some plans and, get our plane tickets in advance and yeah, just start making some plans and figuring out what we're going to do. So, that'll be exciting. I know he's looking forward to going back up there. I'm looking forward to going up and kind of looking around, and while we're there, kind of, taking care of some things and looking around at houses and what's for sale versus what's for rent. And he wants to talk to his parents about, where he would like a plot of land so that we can kind of figure out what we're going to do with that. I feel like we're going to end up renting. I would like to live in the city for a little bit just because I haven't lived in a city big enough to have even a pizza delivered to my house for almost 20 years. So, and I mean, the place where we live has a couple of restaurants, but nobody delivers. And, it's a small town. Everything is basically rolled, the sidewalk rolls up at, 8 o'clock. And I just want to experience, even though I know I won't like being around all the people, I just want that experience. I mean, I've lived in a big city. I grew up in a big city. So I know what it's like. But yeah, I know there are things that I like about living rurally. I know there are things I don't like about it. Same with the city. But I think I'm ready for a couple of years to kind of experience the city. And then once we're done with that, to be like, okay, now we can move out kind of to the country. And that will give us hopefully time to kind of set up everything the way that we want it, to be as self-sufficient as we want and figure out all the logistics of all of that. And yeah, so, but we'll see. That's plans. Life doesn't ever go according to plan. So who knows? But that's my plan. So, and oh, one last thing, you guys. I somebody I don't know if I saw it on Instagram or Facebook, but somebody somewhere basically was talking about diamond painters that do product reviews and, you know, how honest can they be? And so I've thought about addressing this a couple times and I just haven't up to this point because I get sidetracked and I forget. But I do product reviews for companies, but I make very sure that they understand up front. I don't do exclusivity. And I don't promise anything but that I will unbox their stuff. I don't promise that it's going to be a good review. I don't promise that I'm going to say nice things. I give you my honest feedback. And you know, maybe I've just been lucky enough up to this point that I've not had anybody that I work with that I'm like, eesh, you know what I mean? But having said that, if that had been my honest reaction, that would have been the reaction that you got. So, and, you know, I understand why diamond painters do it, the same reason probably that I'm doing it. It's a nice way to be a win-win for both parties. You know, the diamond painting company gets their product shown to more people. So it's basically kind of not free necessarily because they're, you know, providing a product for review, but mostly free. I mean, it's pretty low cost to them to send you some free stuff, and then, you know, that gets them seen by way more people than they could probably accomplish on their own. So, and I know there's lots of diamond painters too that are affiliates for different companies. Affiliate wasn't ever anything that I necessarily aspired to. There are some diamond painting companies that I like. I mean, pretty much the ones that I thought would be really good were the ones that were my Big 10. So Treasure Studios Art, Diamond Art Club, Craftably, Crafties, Diamond Painting Deutschland, Distracted by Diamonds. Gosh, I'm trying to even think who else is on my list now. Diamond Painting Shop. Who I don't know. Oraloa. They're not on my Big 10 list, but they were one of the possibilities. DIY Moon Shop was one. I feel like I'm forgetting one in there, but anyway. So all of those do licensed art, and you know, were ones that I do the bigger canvases, and so they were on my Big 10 list. So anyway, all of that to say that, you know, when you see my product reviews, they are my honest opinion. Like I said, all I promise is that I will make a video. I make no promises about what I'm going to say in the video. I make no promises about, you know, it's only going to be a good review. None of that. Now, I don't know how other people do it, but that's how I do it. So, although having said that, I'm so behind in my product reviews right now. That's why I said I think I lost kind of my mojo, because I've got so many things kind of laying around that I need to do this, I need to do that. And, you know, I could blame it on doing these big canvases, but I don't really think it was that. I think it was just, I was kind of struggling to get in the groove, you know. I didn't expect how kind of out of whack leaving the preschool would make me feel, but it has. And so dealing with that has kind of been interesting. So, okay, so I finished that color. I think that brings me to a good stopping point. I think I've lathered on enough. I don't even know how long I've talked at this point, but that feels like a good stopping place. So, I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. Let me zoom you guys out here so you can see where I'm at. So now I'm kind of into multi-placing. I've got some kind of confetti in here to do, but then This section here is going to be multi-placing. Really, for as kind of confetti as this canvas is in places, there's also some nice multi-placing in it. So like this whole section here is all pretty much one color. So that one color, I mean, there's a little bit of confetti, but once I fill in that confetti, then it's all multi-placing there. So it's been a nice canvas. And like I said, kind of getting used to using these multi-placers has kind of cemented for me that I really do like this style. And that's what I'm going to be getting more of for rounds. I'm going to stick with my, we have a handle on this tips for the squares because I just love those. So yeah, I think I'm going to call that good here, guys. And I hope you made some progress on your project, whatever that may be. Or if you were just listening to this like a podcast, I hope you enjoyed listening to my ramblings. Before you leave, guys, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot. Hit that subscribe button. That helps me out even more. And hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.